All right, a little bit of breaking news today. Throwing this up for you guys. I know it's a Thursday night. I don't mean to interfere with if you guys are watching Jeopardy or Wheel of Fortune or somebody else's spring game, but Florida State gets a commitment from Lawayne McCoy. McCoy is a four-star wide receiver. He actually plays both sides of the ball, but probably translates as a wide receiver. He's 6 foot, 170 pounds, out of Miami, Florida. Goes to Miami Central High School. He is, again, a four-star wide receiver. Was on a visit today to FSU and committed on the visit. It's been reported several places. And Florida State has their newest commit in the class of 2024. Show you some of his highlights here on Huddle. I really like this kid. We'll talk about him in just a moment, but you can watch some highlights as I talk about him. Make sure that you like the video. We haven't bugged you guys for subscribers a ton over the last few weeks. So if you do enjoy the content, if you enjoy what we're putting out, what we're doing, hit that subscribe button. Like I said, top 300 kid according to the On3 industry rankings. He took a visit to Texas A&M late last month, and so the Noles get him over Miami, Auburn, where he visited a lot last year, and Texas A&M were three schools that were pretty in on his commitment. Anytime you can go down into South Florida and pick up a kid out of that part of the country, really, really impressive. You know, there's a fence around Miami. I saw Miami fans even today predicting that they were going to land him on his visit to Florida State. Does commit, does pick the Noles, and so you really, really have to like that. As far as him as a prospect, plays both sides of the ball. As you can watch some of his highlights here, he is lined up at wide receiver and defensive back at times. He is really, really quick. I don't, not necessarily track speed, but really, really does a good job of being quick. Has a really nice catch radius. I really like what you see in some of these highlights where he goes up and fights for the ball. That one you just saw that he went up over the middle and got was really, really impressive. I like that too. Good height on that pass. He's got a, like I say, good catch radius, so he does get up and get the ball pretty well when it is thrown a bit tall, and he's featured a ton. He was a kid that played really, really well for Miami Central and is a really good athletic wide receiver and defensive back. I think he could play either side. I think he translates a little bit better as a wide receiver, but I don't hate to play either way. I think he's a really athletic kid, and Florida State adds him to their class as their third, again, if he's going to play that side, wide receiver commit. TJ Abrams, Tawaski Abrams, and Camden Fryer. Legacy commit, Matt Fryer's son, Matt Fryer, 1993 national champion, are added to the class. Shout out Ron Dugans here. Just before we give Coach Dugans some love, I do want to shout out our Discord. I'll link that in the description. We've got about 300 or so Noles fans over there in the Discord right now. We've dropped some inside information on both Luke Cromenhoek and some other things this week. So if you haven't, go check out our Discord. We have a good time over there chatting about FSU and trying to break down everything that we can, share some inside info, and we have a good time interacting. So if you like the YouTube stuff, we have thousands of you that watch this, and we'll watch this video and every video that we put out. But it'd be really, really cool if we could all interact there. It's a little bit better than YouTube for interaction. Shout out Ron Dugans. He's somebody that about a year and a half ago, just about every FSU fan was saying Coach Norvell should get rid of and that we should move on from. And what Coach Dugans has done since then has been really, really impressive. Obviously, landing five-star Hakeem Williams is maybe the first thing that comes to mind when we talk about that. But also what he did in the transfer portal with Johnny Wilson, Dewspan, Winston Wright, Micah Pittman, and what I believe we're going to continue to do. You got Abrams, you got Camden Fryer. I know he's a legacy, but you still got to pull those guys. For a while, we weren't landing legacies. And now landing McCoy. I think you got to put some respect on Dugans' name. I think that he's had a little bit of a revitalization of what he's doing. The development of that room has certainly taken a step up. You obviously pulled in a bunch of transfers that had a lot of talent but weren't necessarily developed. I think that Coach Dugans has done a good job with that room. I think he's done a good job recruiting as well, as Florida State now lands their third blue chip wide receiver of the 2024 class. Again, like what I see from McCoy. Think that he's somebody who can come in and make a pretty quick impact. I think Florida State's going to need wide receivers. I think that you would anticipate that Johnny Wilson is in his final year. You'd anticipate that you don't really know what Micah's going to look like if he does play this last year. Is he he's probably done. Winston Wright, if he has some kind of a money year, this could be his last year. You're not going to have all these guys forever. And so I think you will see Florida State maybe even take one more wide receiver. I know that there's been talk about Jeremiah Smith, JoJo Trader, other big 5-stars that are out there. I think that you may see a 4 wide receiver class taken. Florida State's going to take a lot this year, and we'll see kind of how all that shakes out. I like what they've got for the future. I obviously love Hakeem Williams. I love All Day Dre. There's talk of, as now you're starting to see some safety, some secondary play as well. There's talk of Destin Hill enrolling a month from today. So there is a lot that's going on in that wide receiver room, but that's a place you can absolutely stack talent. And, taking a guy that can play both sides of the ball, certainly not going to hurt anybody's feelings either, because I think you do use him at safety if needed. I think that he is somebody who could be used on either side of the ball. Obviously, the Jordan Pride decommitment is something that's fresh on everybody's mind, something that everybody's thinking about. So you could certainly use him in that secondary, whether it be corner or safety. I like him with some good length at 6 foot, so I think he could play over on the top. McCoy commits, again, on a visit. Norvell stuffs both Mario and Jimbo and Hugh Freeze in a locker, I suppose. We talked about Luke Krummenhoek in a video earlier this week. Luke Krummenhoek now has 3 wide receivers in this class that he can pick and choose from and go to. Going down into Miami and getting an athlete out of Miami Central is never going to hurt FSU fans' feelings. Obviously, that's where Dalvin Cook went to school. So I'll take all the Miami Central kids just for nostalgia purposes and anything else you guys want to throw at us. I'm all about that. Really excited for this commitment. Really think that it starts the spring game weekend off really well. You're always looking for what kind of excitement can come from a spring game weekend, what can come from a bunch of NFL guys coming back. I saw Jermaine Johnson, others coming back. And so to start that out on a Thursday night without even having to play on a Thursday night, shout out to our brothers over there, school out east or whatever, but without even having to play, but still being able to pull in a commitment on a Thursday night heading into the spring game weekend, I think that really starts the weekend off really well. You got a 4-star in the 2024 class the day after you lost a 4-star. So the Lord giveth, the Lord taketh, Mike Norvell giveth and taketh too, right? So I think it's exciting, something to celebrate. Again, if you watch this, if you enjoyed it, let me know your thoughts down in the comments as Florida State picks up another commit, Lawayne McCoy. 4-star out of Miami Central, probably a wide receiver. We'll see exactly what it looks like when he gets on campus. Appreciate Huddle.com. We're using their highlights. Big shout out to them for all the work they do for high school athletes. And then hit our Discord. We would enjoy interacting with you. If you're coming to Tallahassee, leave me a comment down below letting me know you're coming to Tallahassee. Let's get you out to the tailgate. Let's have a good time on Saturday. Let's keep everybody healthy. Safe travels on the way to and from Tallahassee. We did a preview today on the spring game. I'll link that as we close. Thank you guys for hanging out. Thanks for watching this. Just a quick reaction to our thoughts on Florida State's newest recruit, Lawayne McCoy. Again, if you want to watch the spring game preview, you can do so by clicking right here.